Good morning. It is Wednesday, June 17th, and I'm just giving a little bit of a progress update for how far I've gotten on my wiring loom. I have gotten to the point where the loom is complete. The transmission control harness is all totally in. All the wires are pinned out. I've got the range selector switch pinned in, and all the wires run so that I can get all that working correctly. My PCM is on the FedEx truck this morning and should be delivered. LT1swap.com, man. I'm telling you, that dude knows his stuff. And he got my PCM turned around in record time. This isn't a plug. He's not giving me any money. It was the best resource I could find for doing my swap myself. I could have paid a lot of money and sent it out to like Howell or something like that, but that's $800. Go figure. Anyway, so I'm at the point now where I'm putting together my fuse box and relay box. I was working on it last night, but then I ran out of solder. Can't take shortcuts, gotta solder every single connection and joint, and then double heat shrink it to make sure that all of your connections are good and uncompromised. There are real issues with letting your connection joints be substandard, and it might not get you tomorrow, it might not get you next week, but next year when your truck stops running, you're gonna regret not doing it the correct way the first time, because you will have to go in and do it again. So that's just a little bit of update. I should be able to have the PCM connected to the harness and mocked up on the engine by this weekend. If I do, I'll give an update and take pictures and all that fun stuff. But otherwise, this is just it's a slow, tedious slog. But hey, it's worth it. I'll have an 8.1. In my next steps, I completed the transmission harness and loomed it up. I went through all of the sensors and connectors and everything and identified everywhere that they went. I modified some of the harness and extended out the alternator connectors so that it would reach the other side of the motor. And then I built the fuse block and my connections to the TBI harness. The final step was creating the fuse box and taping up the harness, and everything came out beautifully. Next up, I'm going to be doing my fuel system. I bought a new fuel tank, I bought a new fuel pickup, and I bought a high pressure fuel pump that will work with my stock Squarebody Suburban gas tank. I'm going to be using the stock hard lines all the way up to the firewall, and then I'll be cutting into the supply and return and putting AN fittings on and running them through an aeromotive bypass regulator. The 8.1 that I have is a returnless fuel system, and so I will not be able to run the stock return system like I have on my TBI. So that's why I need the bypass regulator. That way I can also mess with fuel pressures and trims and stuff like that to see if I can't bump up the performance of the 8.1 just a little bit without having to do things like heads and cams and stuff like that. I don't want to tear into the engine if I don't have to. I can, but I don't want to. So that's it for the electrical side of it. It should now be plug and play. I've got all the wires that I need to go through the firewall for the various sensors and hookups, and I've got the three wires that I need to make it run. That's it. 3 wires. That's all I need. Okay. See ya.